So by adding more pores, you increase more agitation and thereby increase from roll wave coffee in Canada. I am the current Canadian Brewers Cup champion, and today I am with Femobook, and I'm going to be using the A68. Okay, for the A68, what I really like about this particular grinder is that it's all magnetic, so you don't need any tools to take things apart. Everything's come off, so you can take a look and clean everything really easy. Let me check the grind size real quick. So the first coffee we are going to be trying is from Colombia, and it is a Sudan Rume variety, so on the rare side. And the Sudan Rume variety usually have a lot of spice notes to it, so something very different for the coffee. So the grinder is quite fast, and actually this grinder, I use it as well in competition. I use this one in e-brick, so I'm also a Canadian e-brick champion as well. For the recipe, very easy today. We're using a very simple recipe. 20 grams of coffee, 320 grams of water, and I'm blooming 60 grams for 45 seconds. Then we're going to go up to 200 and then to 320. For the pouring, very simple. We're doing a slow pouring, and there's no agitation, so I'm not going to swirl. I'm just going to use the water to do all my work for me. And the grind size today is 160 clicks. So this one is a little bit on the finer side, so we're going to get a little bit more intense of the coffee. So with this grinder, we actually use it in our cafe as well, and we use it to make espresso. So it's good for both filter and espresso. And we do single origin espresso, so very premium espresso when someone order on the cafe. We'll use the Femobook A68 to grind the coffee for the espresso shot for them. Brew time, about 3 minutes. This coffee, I mentioned before, I use a little bit finer grind to get that intensity. So this is going to be very aromatic, very spicy, and also fruity at the same time. Lots of sage, rosemary, lemongrass, that type of herbs. And the intensity of the sweetness is high. The sweetness of the intensity is quite high, but the aftertaste is not that bitter. So I was told that maybe Sudan Rume flavor profile might not fit you guys, but I think that it's a very fun coffee, something very different. So for the next brew, I'm going to brew Panama Geisha wash from Kotoa. I'm going to use exactly the same method, same water as well. I'm just going to change the grind size to show that this grinder is also very good in clarity and getting a coffee that's very elegant as well. It smells really good. I really love this coffee. This coffee is one of my favorites this year. Exactly the same recipe, 20 grams of coffee. And we're going to go 60 gram bloom, 45 seconds, then to 200 and 320. The grind size this time is 175 seconds. And the water, again, really slow. And we're not gonna do any agitation, just let the water do our work for us. And I find that doing this, it makes the recipe very simple and anyone can do it. And for my water today, I use the same temperature, it's 92 degrees Celsius. The coffee is a little slow, that's fine, because our coffee can be extracted quite long and it still tastes good. So this one here is about 3 minutes and 45. I'm very excited. It smells really good, and it tastes kind of like just strawberry. A little bit of tropical fruit, very floral, elegant. And this is the wash geisha, by the way. And then the next one we're gonna do, it is coffee from Kenya. So it's a black honey Kenya, fruity and very sweet. Have a lot of berry notes, like blackcurrant notes. And actually, this coffee is sourced by a Taiwanese company first, and then we bought it from Taiwan. So it's from Kenya to Taiwan to Canada. We roast it, and then now we bring it back to Taiwan. Okay. For this coffee, the grind size, I go a little coarser. We're at 180 clicks. And again, I'm using exactly the same recipe so that you can also see the differences between the coffee as well. So not the recipe, but we're just looking at different coffee and different grind size. So this brew is going to be a little faster, 2 minutes and 30. And this is going to highlight the acidity in the coffee. So black honey Kenya, and usually with Kenya, it's mainly washed. So you don't see a lot of natural and honey process, but this year we see a lot more natural, a lot more honey, and I think it's because Kenyans want to get their coffee out there more. There's more natural process and that people are enjoying, and so you see a lot more producers making those coffee. Maybe I'll do the same coffee, but now I'm gonna adjust like the brewing style and so that you can maybe taste some differences. So we're gonna switch from using the B60, we're gonna use origami. So this is the origami paper. I'm using the Sudan Rene for this one. So my goal this time is actually to increase the body and mouthfeel that you'll get from the coffee using a flat bottom. So we are gonna grind coarser than before, and we're gonna use our recipe. The amount of water is the same, but we are going to do a 4 pours instead of 3 pours. And the reason why we use flat bottom is because then the bed depth of the coffee is a bit more identical instead of when in the cone shape. It's to do a lot of complexity, but the balance is not quite there. So depending on what type of coffee that you enjoy, you can choose to use flat bottom or cone shape. Recipe, 20 grams of coffee, 320 grams of water. We're going to go 60 grams first, so initially the same. And then we're going to go 150, 250, 320. I like, again, no agitation, just water. The brew time should be about 3 minutes. I want to brew the Panama Geisha again, but using a different paper filter because it's a little bit too long last time. So for this time, to get a different result, I'm actually using the same grind size as the last time. It's about 175 clicks, but I'm using a faster paper filter. I've really been enjoying using the A68 so far, mainly for espresso, but for filter, it's really nice. It's very good for espresso. It smells really good. So I'm brewing right now is Panama Geisha from Kotowa. So the brew should finish in around 3 minutes or so. In previous brew, it was 3 minutes and 45, so it's slightly long. And this one should be a little better than the last brew. The acidity was really vibrant, and it's still quite sweet, almost like strawberry, lots of jasmine, lots of lemongrass, botanical, and quite sweet. We're going to brew the Kenya again, but we are going to push extraction so that we can get a really nice therapy body of the Kenya black honey. And we're going to grind slightly finer for this one. And the grind size will be 165. It will be 20 grams, 300. Yeah, and we're going to do 5 pours. Yeah, and it's very simple. 60 grams every 30 seconds. Brew time will be just around 3 minutes again. Yeah, but the way that we add water is quite different, and so the overall extraction will be different. Even the timing is the same. So for this time, if you guys still hear that taste the Kenya from the last brew, this one should have a higher sweetness compared to the last one. Very blackcurrant forward for this one. It's because you're trading off that body and sweetness. So the acidity then will feel like it's lower. So now the floral is gone. And then, so depending on how you brew, you can adjust the balance. So I'm glad that you can see the differences between the brews. So there's a few things you can do. You can increase the temperature. I don't like to do that. I like to increase more pours. For example, the Kenya that we did, the first brew I did was 3 pours. The last one I did was 5 pours. So by adding more pours, you increase more agitation and thereby increase extraction. And so you get more sweet without getting more bitter, too much bitter, because you don't change the temperature. Try that and hopefully it will be better.